Okay, so I'm here with directors Justine Themen and Steve Kirkham for the show they're doing, The Tempest. Before we talk about The Tempest and why you decided to take on that project, just tell us a bit about the company, Belgrade Young Company, please, Justine.
Yes. The Young Company was set up 4 years ago to try and provide an opportunity for the young people that we work with from all of our groups to take a next step up beyond youth theatre, a step in the direction of making professional theatre. So it's an opportunity to work more intensively, to work with different practitioners, to maybe make a different kind of work from the sort of work that we usually make with our youth theatre groups. And in terms of the project that we're doing, this fourth project really came out of trying to marry together experiences from projects 2 and 3. So 2 years ago we'd done Spring Awakening, which was quite a departure for us because it was putting on a classic text, and mostly when we're working with youth theatre we don't put on existing texts. So we made Spring Awakening, and the company really had to work with how to work with very dense text. And the year after that, we did a project with Neil Bettles from Thick Skin, which was a very physical theatre piece. And Neil also does a lot of work with Frantic Assembly, so a similar kind of style. And seeing that show, I thought, wouldn't it be exciting to try and fuse some of that approach to making theatre, so that real physicality, which clearly had really engaged the young people that were performing in it, with an approach to a classic text. So we decided to make a Shakespeare show because it's the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death, and to make it in partnership with Frantic Assembly. So that's where we got Steve on board.
Wonderful, and that's great to hear. And just a bit about how you think it's going at the moment, especially with this collaboration with yourself, Steve, from Frantic, and how you feel that's going in terms of this project.
I think it's going great. I mean, we've just been talking this morning about just finding our way with each other, actually co-directing for the first time, and it's a really interesting process actually, and I think it's going really well, and I think we're really doing the fine-tuning and nitty-gritty now, and there's been absolutely no problems, but it's just finding your way, and we work quite differently. But actually, when I really think about it, I think we work in a very similar way actually as well, to be honest with you. I mean, I'll tend to lead the warm-ups and get stuck in with the more physical stuff, but it's a real collaboration of text and movement, which is what we're trying to make it, so it doesn't stand out like there's the move, there's the dance bit, So we just, it's layering. It's a lot of everything we do in Frantic, and I think you work in the same way. So we start with those simple things, and we just layer it in, and we're just really getting stuck in. I mean, time is getting a little tighter now, but we're doing a lot of fine tuning and going through each scene really, really in minute detail. I think now for the actors, which is what we really need to do. We've made a lot of broad strokes, I think, over the past few weeks, and now we're really paring it all back and really putting that story in. And some things are changing, and some things we're actually getting rid of things and bringing completely new things in there.
Have you worked with such a classic text, Steve?
I've never done Shakespeare before, and
So
I've really wanted to. I think it's great. I mean, all the the betrayal, the love story, the relation. I mean, it's all in there. That it's modern. It's now still. But yeah, the dialogue. I have to really read it. I mean, it doesn't. I don't suddenly get it naturally. I have to really get stuck in there and ask Justine a lot what that means, actually. And yeah, I mean, each day I'm still finding new things with it, and I'm hearing new things. But hearing as the actors are getting hold of it more now, they're really starting to make sense of it more. The whole thing, I think, is just coming alive a lot more as we go along.
Does the physicality that you bring with Frantic Assembly fit quite seamlessly with Shakespeare and the text and the way the story is told? Is that something you...
I think I think in some instances, yes.
Yeah.
Some instances it's really obvious how we can combine physicality with that text. Other times we have to work on it more. So there are some scenes that we're coming to now in this intensive week where we haven't worked with physicality at all, and now that, as Steve was saying about the actors, they're now off the book, which means you can work physically in a different kind of way than you could when they had this script in their hand. and they're starting to offer things more that are stimulating more thoughts for us. Seeing them in the space with the the markup, those kind of things for them are starting to bring it to life, giving them ideas. So I think it's there's some places where it's really clear where we can combine. There are other places where we've got to work at it, but that feels exciting.
And some scenes should be simpler. Some scenes are big and more physical, and so, you've got to get a balance right within a show. It can't be full on intense. Everything's moving. You don't want people moving all the time. You want some still moments. You want some small moments. And I think we've made some real broad strokes in those first few weeks, just the nature of availability, and I didn't come so much at first, just some Saturdays, and then now I'm here for 2 weeks. But now some of those, we've had to change some of those things this morning. We've realised actually we've got into the text and we're digging deeper, and we're being more truthful with the story. That we've had to let go of some of that. We've had to let go of some things this morning, and I struggled a little bit with this morning with letting go of a scene, but now I really trust that that's completely the right thing to do, because this is when we always said that this week, these 2 intense weeks would be where the majority of the work is done, and the rest of it was a lot of preparation. So some things are going, actually, they're going by the way by, and some things have stood right from the beginning, and that's been right. So it's about the truth of it now, I think, as well, and the story, and it really is about getting that story right.
And I think that's crucial in terms of the idea for the project in the first place, that making a piece of Shakespeare text with a group of young people, we hope will make Shakespeare that bit more accessible to young people, and and even children sort of age 8, 9, 10, that as an introduction to see other young people who just feel like a little bit older than you on stage performing this in a way that's quite physical, in a cut down version, should be something that's quite accessible for young audiences.
And that it's relevant to them as actors and to what they're saying to their audience as well.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good.